Konnichiwa minasan, Nihongo no gakase desu. In this lesson, we will learn the past tense short forms of nouns, verbs, and adjectives. For review, short forms are used only when talking with friends, families, and close ones. This is not used with strangers or bosses or one's seniors. So when we are speaking with teachers, we do not use the short forms because it may sound rude. Okay? Alright. For the verbs, we have already discussed these forms, these tenses, the plain polite present, the past polite. Now we're going to discuss the past plain form of the verbs. Here in this case, tabeta, tabenakatta. Now, because there are two kinds of verbs and some exceptions, we're going to discuss them separately. First, we start with ru verbs. For the ru verbs, plain past affirmative form. Of course, we start with the affirmative one. The rule is just change ru to ta. Taberu becomes tabeta. Oboeru becomes oboeta. Suteru becomes suteta. Hajimeru becomes hajimeta. Oriru becomes orita. Wasureru becomes wasureta, and so on. Kageo wasureta. I forgot my keys. Kageo wasureta. I forgot my keys. Kyou wa goji no kanji o oboeta. Kyou wa goji no kanji o oboeta. I memorized 5 kanjis today. Now for the plain past negative form. Here we have tabenai, which is the plain present form. Tabenai. So do not eat, won't eat. Now to convert this into the past plain negative form, we're just going to drop the hiragana I and change it to katta. So it becomes tabena katta. Tabena katta. From tabenai becomes tabena katta. Tabena katta. So here we have taberu, tabenakatta. Oboeru, oboenakatta. Suteru, sutenakatta. Hajimeru, hajimenakatta. Oriru, orinakatta. Wasureru, wasurenakatta. Okay? Ru verbs are much easier to remember, but for the u verbs, we have to do some memorizing. Now for the u verbs, in order to conjugate u verbs to the plain past affirmative form, we have to change the u verb into the te form and change de or te to da and ta respectively. So for example, odoru, odoru. Odoru becomes odotte, odotte. Now we change the te in odotte, it becomes odotta, odotta. Even though odoru ends in ru, it is not a ru verb. Omou, omou becomes omotte, omotte. And we change it to omotta, omotta. Tatsu, to stand. Tatsu becomes tatte, tatte. And it becomes tatta, tatta. Isogu becomes isoide. Isoide becomes osoida. Asobu, to hang out or play, becomes asonde. Asonde becomes asonda. Asonda. Yomu becomes yonde. And yonde becomes yonda. Yonda. And here is the example of one verb. Nomu, and its past plain affirmative form is nonda. Nonda. Drank. Have drunk. I have a video on the rules in transforming the verbs into the te form. And this is the rules, okay? So you can just copy it and try to find verbs and try and convert them to te form. Alright, for example, watashi wa sore o machigaeta to omotta. I thought I made a mistake. Watashi wa sore o machigaeta to omotta. So here, omotta comes from the dictionary form omou. Omou, and the te form is omotte, and it becomes omotta. Kesa wa kaimono ni itta. Kesa wa kaimono ni itta. So here, itta comes from the dictionary form iku. Iku, to go. And its te form is itte. Itte. Its past plain affirmative form is itta. Itta. Okay? Now for the verbs, to change the verb into a plain past negative form, the rule is change verb to present negative and then change the last I into katta. Here is the table. So nomu becomes nomanai. Here we drop the last hiragana I and change it to katta. So nomanai, nomanakatta. Nomanakatta. Okay? Another verb, kaku, to write. Kaku, write. Its plain present negative form is kakanai. Kakanai. Again, drop the I hiragana and change it to katta. Kakanakatta. Kakanakatta. Okay? Tsumetai kohi o nomanakatta. So here, nomanakatta comes from nomu. Nomu, nomanai, nomanakatta. Nani mo kakanakatta. Nani mo kakanakatta. I did not write anything. Comes from kaku, kakanai, kakanakatta. Okay? Now for suru and kuru irregular verbs, suru becomes shinai, shinai. And again, we drop the hiragana I and replace it with katta. Shinai, shinakatta. Okay? For kuru, kuru, it becomes konai, konai. Again, we drop the hiragana I and change it to katta. Konakatta, konakatta. Sono resu no benkyou shinakatta. Sono resu no benkyou shinakatta. I did not study the lesson. Sensei wa kino gakkou ni konakatta. Sensei wa kino gakkou ni konakatta. The teacher did not come to school yesterday. Alright, now for the E adjectives. For the E adjective, here we have an example, isogashi, isogashi, busy, isogashi. We're just going to remove and change the last E here in the plain present affirmative form and change it into katta. Again, isogashi katta, isogashi katta. Okay, was busy, were busy. Same with omoshiroi, interesting, omoshiroi. Again, we drop the I hiragana from the plain present affirmative form and change it into katta, katta, omoshiro katta, omoshiro katta. Okay? For example, kino wa totemo isogashikatta. Kino wa totemo isogashikatta. I was very busy yesterday. Eiga wa omoshirokatta. Eiga wa omoshirokatta. The movie was interesting. Now for the plain past negative, here we have isogashi konai. Isogashi konai. From isogashi, isogashi konai. Isogashi konai. Again, we're going to drop the hiragana I and change it into katta. Isogashi kunakatta. Isogashi kunakatta. Here. Same with omoshiroi. Omoshiro kunai. Again, drop the hiragana I and change it to katta. Omoshiro kunakatta. Omoshiro kunakatta. Kino wa amari isogashi kunakatta. Kino wa amari isogashi kunakatta. I was not very busy yesterday. Eiga wa omoshiroku nakatta. Eiga wa omoshiroku nakatta. The movie was not interesting. Alright, for na adjectives. For the na adjectives, here we have the conjugation of the adjective kind. Shinsetsu. Shinsetsu. So the plain present form of shinsetsu is shinsetsuda. Shinsetsuda. Now to change it into past plain affirmative form, we say shinsetsu datta. Shinsetsu datta. We just add the chisaitsu and ta. Datta. Shinsetsu da. Shinsetsu datta. Same with kantan. The adjective for easy. Kantan. Kantanda. Kantanda. And it becomes kantandatta. Kantandatta. Was easy, were easy. For the plain past affirmative. Example, wakai toki Takeshi-san wa shinsetsu datta. When Takeshi was young, he was kind. Wakai toki Takeshi-san wa shinsetsu datta. Wakai toki means when young. Kyou no testo wa totemo kantan datta. Kyou no testo wa totemo kantan datta. The test today was easy. Now for the present plain negative form and past plain negative form, here we have shinsetsu janai. shinsetsu janai. To convert it into the past plain negative form, shinsetsu janakatta. Again, we drop the hiragana I and change it to katta. Shinsetsu janakatta. Same with kantan. Kantan janai. Kantan janai. Drop hiragana I and change it to katta. Kantan janakatta. Were not easy. Wakai toki Takeshi-san wa shinsetsu janakatta. Wakai toki Takeshi-san wa shinsetsu janakatta. When Takeshi was young, he wasn't kind. And now he is kind. Kyou no testo wa amari kantan janakatta. Kyou no testo wa amari kantan janakatta. The test today wasn't easy. Now we go to nouns. Here we have the word smart student. Kashikoi gakusei. Kashikoi gakusei. As you can see, the conjugation of the nouns, like this one, is the same as that of the adjective. Kashikoi gakusei da becomes Kashikoi gakusei datta. Kashikoi gakusei datta. Okay? Simple. Kaisha-in. Kaisha-in, company employee. Now the conjugation for the plain present affirmative, kaisha-in da. Kaisha-in da. And the past plain affirmative were a company employee. Kaisha-in datta. Kaisha-in datta. Kare wa koukou no toki kashikoi gakusei datta. He was a smart student in high school. Kare wa koukou no toki kashikoi gakusei datta. Kare wa 3年間会社員だった。彼は3年間会社員だった。He was a company employee for 3 years. Again, just the same with na adjective, janai, janai, and remove the I hiragana, replace it with katta. Kashikoi gakusei janakatta. Kashikoi gakusei janakatta. Kaisha-in janai. Kaisha-in janai is not an employee. Kaisha-in janakatta. Kaisha-in janakatta was not a company employee. Kare wa koukou no toki kashikoi gakusei janakatta. He wasn't a smart student in high school. Kare wa koukou no toki kashikoi gakusei janakatta. Koukou de wa kaisha-in janakatta. Koukou de wa kaisha-in janakatta. He was not a company employee here. Koukou de wa kaisha-in janakatta. Alright, exercise. Try and conjugate the verbs, nouns, and adjectives into past plain affirmative and past plain negative form. Here we have odoru means dance, odoru. Matsu, stand, matsu. Yasumu, to rest or rest, yasumu. Ii tenki, good weather. Byoki, byoki, sick. Kawaii, kawaii, pretty. Sabishii, sabishii, lonely. Mijikai, mijikai, short. Okay? You can pause the video, try and conjugate the words into past plain affirmative and past plain negative. Or you may continue watching for the answers. Okay. For the past plain affirmative, odoru is odotta. Odotta. For matsu, matta. Matta. For yasumu, yasunda. Yasunda. For ii tenki, ii tenki datta. Ii tenki datta. Byoki. Byoki datta. Was sick. Byoki datta. Kawaii. Pretty. Kawaii. Kawaii katta. Was pretty. Kawaii katta. Sabishi. Sabishi katta. Sabishi katta. Was lonely. Mijikai. Mijika katta. Mijika katta. Was short. Mijika katta. And for the past plain negative, odora nakatta. Odora nakatta. Mata nakatta. Mata nakatta. For matsu. Yasumu. Yasuma nakatta. Yasuma nakatta. Ii tenki. Ii tenki janakatta. Ii tenki janakatta. Byoki. Byoki janakatta. Byoki janakatta. Kawaii. Kawaiku nakatta. Kawaiku nakatta. Sabishii. Sabishiku nakatta. Sabishiku nakatta. And finally, mijikaku nakatta. Mijikaku nakatta.